Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Farzy Show here at the Steven Singer Studios. My name's Marc Farzetta, and we got a lot to get to today when it comes to Ben Simmons and the 76ers. We got a lot to get to today when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles, because the bottom line is this. The audition year of Jalen Hurts, and as far as I'm concerned, Nick Sirianni, has failed epically. And so much so that I feel like the entire Eagles organization is in denial about what they have right now, or at least maybe our fan base is in denial about what we have going on right now in South Philadelphia, Lincoln Financial Field, and NovaCare Complex, with the people making the decisions about what this team's going to be doing going forward. And I made this decision as I was going through yesterday's show. We all remember when this year started that this was going to be an audition year. Is Jalen Hurts, I felt like I was going crazy with how many times I said this. Is Jalen Hurts actually going to be Mr. Right for the Eagles, or is he just going to be Mr. Right now? Well, that started circulating in my brain during the game this past weekend. And then it started circulating again when Joe Flacco got traded back to the New York Jets. First off, for all the things we could criticize Howie Roseman for, this really ain't one of them. Because Joe Flacco, then a 1 year veteran backup, bringing him into the fold ends up getting you a 6th round pick, maybe a 5th round pick, depending on how much Joe Flacco plays. So we have another, snap count to root for. This time, when it comes to a 6th round pick, conditionally flipping to a 5th round pick with Joe Flacco going back to the New York Jets, where he's going to most likely be a starter for however long it takes Zach Wilson to come back into the fold. So kudos to Howie Roseman for that. That's something we don't do a lot of. Actually pat the man on the back when he made a good deal. So this is the good deal. But as I see that move unfold and actually take place, what it also leads me to think about is Gardner Minshew now being the backup quarterback and him being on the sidelines of this Philadelphia Eagles football team while we're watching maybe Jalen Hurts go through struggles, the team overall go through struggles. And then it'll just be a matter of time before people, regardless of Nick Sirianni and the job he's doing, because he's not going to fire himself in the middle of a game. I don't think he's going to hand the play calling over to Shane Steichen to start calling plays for this offense. I don't see that happening. So with all that being said, the one thing that you might see if you're looking for change in this offense is a different quarterback coming in. And we all know in every single city, not just Philadelphia, this is not at all unique to us. We want to see the backup quarterback when we see the starter not performing well. And Gardner Minshew is only, 2 years older than Jalen Hurts? So it doesn't necessarily mean that he can't be the quarterback of the future. If Jalen Hurts isn't the quarterback of the future, why not go to another young quarterback who's just right there on the bench and has already had 3 times the amount of starts that Jalen Hurts has had under his belt already? So I could see that happening. We could all see it happening. That's the poetry in motion in football. And it's always a nice little poem that rhymes when it comes to starting the backup quarterback. Oh, bring in the backup. Take the starter out. Let's see what the backup has to do here. Bring in Gardner. Oh, he's got that cool mustache. He wears that shirt. He wore that shirt that one time that goes all the way down to his navel. Let's see what he's got at quarterback. All characteristics I want of a winning quarterback, I think. But to get back to the point as far as this audition year. As I was rewatching some of this Raiders game, and just like, did I really see that? Oh yeah, no, I saw them go for that onside kick. The people on the onside kick that were in the kick coverage there, a kick return, they looked like they were ready for an onside kick, and yet they chose to still do it. Of all that stuff, and then really looking at Jalen Hurts and trying to evaluate him by leaving Nick Sirianni's play calling out of it. You could certainly see that the Eagles are, in fact, having this audition year. And the process really started, in my mind, not just with Jalen Hurts, but if you remember when Brandon Brooks went down, second game of the season, you saw Nate Herbig not go in at right guard in that position, the more experienced player. Instead, they went with their second-round draft pick, Landon Dickerson, who was fresh off the PUP list. And he goes in to get his first experience. Baptism by fire. Got put on roller skates a couple of different times. Certainly didn't look good. He admitted after the fact that he needed to play better. He didn't play up to the standard that he set for himself, that they have set for everyone in the building. And that's fine. Way to be honest with yourself. That's called accountability. Happy to hear that. But if they're looking to win now or win a game, wouldn't you go with the more experienced guy? It's just a little thing like that makes you go, this year doesn't exist. Like, remember in the midst of the pandemic when we were all looking, like we all felt like it was it felt like a year-long, the week between Christmas and New Year's, where no one has no concept of time, no idea what date it is, no idea what a calendar looks like anymore. Like, everybody just forget, wait, hold on, is it Tuesday? Wait, what? It's only Monday? Like, they have just no clue what day it is. During pandemic, we're all like lost our concept of time, and it's all just a blur. Right now, the Eagles are looking at the 2021 season as if it's a blur. Like, this year doesn't exist. As far as they're concerned, it's already 2022. As far as they're concerned, the Philadelphia Eagles are already thinking it's not just 2022, it's April of 2022, when they have not just 3 first-round draft picks if it all goes right, but they'll have a total of 11 draft picks if it all goes right, being that they just got this conditional 6th-round pick that can flip to a 5th-round pick for Joe Flacco. That's where the Eagles are at right now in their headspace. They're not doing anything with Nick Sirianni. I said yesterday you could talk about having a 3-win season, 4-win season, and he still comes back. The Eagles are going to fire a guy who they purposely aren't giving him the best possible tools to win. And they're certainly not going to fire that guy after all that, after just one season, after firing Doug Peterson, the guy that won him a Super Bowl. So they're not going to do that. So what they might do is just look forward to next year, actually stocking the cupboard with 3 first-round picks and then 8 other picks to be worrying about when it comes to the upcoming draft. So when you watch this Eagles team this season, and you might have an expectation for them to, let's say, they not even win, just show improvement. Just show that they can actually hold themselves accountable, show some growth. Just when you're watching that this year, and even if you watch it with Jalen Hurts, you're most likely not going to be watching him again next year as the Eagles quarterback. So when you're watching this team this year, I hate to tell fans not to have any expectation. Just enjoy football. Football's a great game. You can't just enjoy football when your team is terrible. No matter how much you appreciate the sport itself and the art that is football, right? Even if you're always watching the game in an NFL Films mentality mindset where you're just hearing the music and John Facenda's voice narrating everything, even if you watch a game like that, you can't enjoy when it's your team sucking at football. So all I'll ask you to do, and I'll ask you to join me in this, is acknowledge that this audition year is an epic fail. Acknowledge that this audition year with the Philadelphia Eagles doesn't even really exist. This all is just preseason. It's extended preseason as far as the Eagles are concerned. They would love to finish dead last in the NFL just so they get a higher draft pick. That's their own draft pick. This year doesn't exist to us. Doesn't matter. Eagles have told you that by actually looking at Nick Sirianni and being like, this is the guy, let me tell you. By using Jalen Hurts as their starting quarterback throughout this year, simply because, and it's going to happen. I don't think Gardner Minshew is going to take over. I think they're still going to be looking at Jalen Hurts. But looking at Jalen Hurts this year saying, a second-round pick that we drafted to be a backup? Yeah, he's our starter. Yeah, no problem. We're going to be flirting this entire offseason. And apparently, according to all the reports, haven't taken our eyes off Deshaun Watson. But yeah, Jalen Hurts is the guy. Yeah, okay. Offensive line shuffling when it comes to using even something as small as Landon Dickerson coming in instead of Nate Herbig coming in. Just little things like that don't really add up. Saying to hell with it in Las Vegas most recently and saying, let's go for the onside kick. Let's go for it on a 4th and 1 on our own 34. All that stuff. Yeah, sure. Why not? Throw it against a fan. Who gives a damn? This year doesn't exist anyway. Because already, Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie are looking at that calendar, and they're already in April of 2022. This season's over. They know it. They're well aware of it. They're stocking up for next year. This is a transition year. No, this is a year to be god-awful is what it is. Throughout the show today, we're going to be hearing from Nick Sirianni in his press conference yesterday. It was late in the day because they had a lot of things going on. Not only did they get that Joe Flacco fell out of here, and not only did they promote Gardner Minshew, or going to promote Gardner Minshew, they let go of their long snapper, Rick Lovato, which is dumb. I can only imagine that is it like some kind of roster shuffle where like, all right, take the long snapper out. He's out. Let's put in. Let's make sure we get another quarterback in here, like Reed Sinnett, for instance, and that's who they brought in here from Miami. So we're all trying to figure out what happens next as far as the long snapper situation goes. But here's the thing. That's the least of our worries right now if you're looking to watch and enjoy some Eagles football as this season continues. But we'll hear from Nick Sirianni. He did address the Fletcher Cox situation from yesterday, rather from Sunday, as far as I just do what the play is called to be. We'll also hear from Nick Sirianni when it comes to a couple other things. He'll respond to that. When it comes to accountability in general, because I got to give a lot of credit to my man, Mike K of NJ.com, who's been on the show a bunch of times, and he just came in from the top rope with Nick Sirianni. Also, you heard the same thing from Marcus Hayes. He asked Nick Sirianni about the onside kick, and Nick Sirianni said something that just makes me just cash out. I'll tell you exactly the moment, because I was like teetering with all the stuff I was doing yesterday on this Eagles team. I was teetering on what my overall reaction was going to be with this squad in terms of how am I going to view them going forward. And there was one thing in particular, other than the fact that they're 2-5, one thing in particular, other than the fact that they ran the ball so well against the Raiders and then got away from it. Other than that, there was one thing Nick Sirianni said, and it reminded me of like almost, not that I was ever with this guy, but it reminded me of like that one straw that broke the camel's back in a breakup. It was like, oh, she didn't put the dishes away. She's out. Or whatever, something stupid, She chews her food like that. I don't think so. I'm out, whatever. It was a moment in the press conference yesterday where I just said, I'm out. Done. As long as Nick Sirianni is the head coach of this football team, thanks, but no thanks. I can root for the guy because I think he's a hell of a nice guy. He comes off like a hell of a nice guy. He took a great opportunity. They asked him to be the head coach of an NFL team. He said, hell yeah, I don't blame him for that. The rest of this season, I'm looking at the front office, I'm looking at Jeffrey Lurie, and I'm looking at Howie Roseman, and I'm saying, this was a good idea? This is what you guys wanted to do? How are you in the positions that you're in right now? Exactly. That's how I'll be viewing the rest of this season. And I know a lot of people, and it's funny, my dad, I was talking to my dad yesterday, and he goes, so what about those Eagles, huh? Like, that's how my dad starts conversations about sports with me. And, hey, how about those Eagles, huh? And he goes, you know what really scares me? I go, what's that, Pop? And he goes, really scares me that Howie Roseman's going to have those 3 first-round picks to make. And I said, you share that with a lot of people there, Dad. You share that with a lot of people. I can't think of a better time, as I was telling you yesterday. I can't think of a better time for the Eagles to hit the reset button on their front office than hiring a new general manager, a new director of football operations, vice president of football operations, player personnel, whatever. I can't think of a better time to hit the reset button on a front office than when you have potentially 11 draft picks in the upcoming draft, including 3 first-round picks, because you could have a pretty good pool to choose from. If you get 1 high draft pick, for instance, there'll be GMs lining up to try to take that job. You have potentially 3 first-round picks. Oh, you'll have your pick of the litter. Come on down. You want to build something? You can build it right here in Philadelphia. I know if I was a prospective GM, those are the assets, to use that old phrase. Those are the assets that I'd want to bring in. We'll hear from Nick Sirianni in a minute, but I did want to spend some time on this. And I mentioned at the end of yesterday's show, this whole Ben Simmons situation, and I know you guys will have your comments on it. My heart goes out to people. It really does. To people like Braden Brooks, who has come out and talked about anxiety a couple of times. Lane Johnson, most recently, talking about depression and anxiety, having to miss a couple of games for it to go get his affairs in order, if you will. And that's all personal stuff. And I have support, compassion, sympathy for these people. that have to go through stuff like that, and I feel awful that they have to go. I feel awful that anybody has to go through stuff like that. I hate that anxiety and depression exists, and people have to deal with the mental state that they're in. But I don't want to belittle depression and anxiety and mental health over something where an athlete brought things upon themselves. And they did it with people screaming, "Don't do this because of this," and they do it anyway. And now they have regret about it, and now I'm supposed to feel bad for them? I consider myself to be a somewhat compassionate person and an understanding person. And I can't look at this Ben Simmons situation and put it in the same light as a Lane Johnson or a Brandon Brooks. And I don't think that makes me a monster. I think that makes me want people to hold themselves accountable. And Ben Simmons, all we know, because we haven't heard from him, the only people that have heard from him are the 76ers. I still want to hear the players, the front office. That's all. I just want to hear from Ben. I want to hear him address me. I want to answer some questions. And if he comes out with this, the mental health and goes through the specifics of it, or at least as much as he is willing to give out, just to let you know that it wasn't just, some spoiled kid that was just always told he was great at basketball, not wanting to listen to anybody, and it was all mental health, and he explains it as best he can. I will listen to that. But if it all just defaults to I'm not mentally ready because of all the stuff that I piled on myself right now, that's not where I have sympathy. That is not where I have compassion. Like, I can't look at someone who we've all critiqued, even me as a supporter of Ben Simmons throughout his entire career, saying, no. This guy's great. This guy deserves to be an all-star. Defensive capabilities, the way that he facilitates, all this good stuff that we say about him. I was willing to take him back after everything that hit the fan in Game 7. I say the Sixers are still a better team with him. I doubt you're going to get trade value for him, equal trade value. I would bring him back, and I'd say, yeah, come on down, man, let's go. And then if he didn't show those signs of improvement, of free throws, and a mid-range game, then you start exploring other avenues to trade him to try to get back equal value. But if you can't do that, then what's the point of moving him? I said if the city could welcome back Donovan McNabb after vomiting in the Super Bowl, and then he makes it back to another NFC Championship game later in his career, yeah, I think the city could bring back and welcome back Ben Simmons, for instance. I've been a supporter of Ben Simmons. It was all this offseason stuff that just basically said that he wanted to quit on the Sixers, quit on the city, quit on the organization, and go elsewhere. Why? Because he didn't want criticism. I don't equate that with any form of depression or anxiety. I don't equate that with serious mental health issues that you'll talk about with some other players around the league. And I know a lot of people wouldn't say what I'm saying right now, but I'm trying to be as specific and as clear as possible. I won't put it in the same light as Lane Johnson or even Brandon Brooks unless I hear from Ben Simmons himself. And you say, oh, what does he owe you? Well, he doesn't owe me anything, but he owes you, the fans, an explanation for what the hell is going on with him and why all these reports came out about him wanting to not be traded or him wanting to be traded and not have the teammates come out to visit him in Las Vegas, Los Angeles, which, by the way, Joel Embiid confirmed. And through all this process, Ben Simmons gets kicked out of practice. And the guy that knows him certainly better than any of us goes in front of microphones and says, I don't care about that guy anymore. Goes on to say, I'm not here to babysit. So if those are the people that are out there giving us information right now, and this is what we have to judge everything on, and Ben Simmons isn't coming out saying anything yet, what are we supposed to believe? Hey, look, if it is something serious with Ben, hey, man, all the power to you. But right now, with all the information we've gathered from pretty credible sources, including his teammates, what is going on right now? Ramona Shelburne was on ESPN yesterday trying to give a little background and information on Ben Simmons and where the Sixers are at right now, because the Sixers, apparently the financial implications are no longer intact with Ben Simmons. They've stopped fighting him. Ramona Shelburne with more information on that.
The Sixers have stopped fining Ben Simmons. That was a big part of this, as you know, the first couple weeks here, when he was not showing up for games, he wasn't there when he did not report to camp, but they've stopped fining him. Some of this, Malika, is because there's a standard provision in player contracts that says if you're dealing with a mental health issue, which Ben Simmons has reported to the team that he is, and he wants to work on himself mentally and physically this week, they've taken that in good faith and said, okay, we're taking that you are working on yourself mentally and physically, and we've offered to make these resources available to you. And so right now, everybody's in a good place, and the fines are not accumulating. And that was an issue for Ben Simmons, as you know, in the first couple weeks of the standoff.
So in the standoff, he came in because he was getting fined. This is the toughest sell in the world, and I don't want anyone going through real mental health issues to feel like they have to sell it to other people. But at least give us some kind of explanation here, because here's also what I don't want to happen. If this does come out that Ben Simmons is going through horrible anxiety, depression, mental health issues, whatever, if he's really going through that, the last thing I want is Philadelphia not getting that explanation. And then Ben goes out there, takes to the court, boo, and everyone starts booing this guy. And then the next thing you know, all the stories come out about how he's in an awful headspace because of X, Y, and Z. And not all the stuff that he brought on himself, but other things that could be going on. And then there's tape forever of Philadelphia then booing a guy who's mentally going through it. And one thing I will say, Hugh can't join us today. You know where Hugh was last night, by the way? And I was texting with him, and we are trying to work out a time. But, of course, he also does a morning show, so that's tough. He was at a World Series event last night. And I'll read you, just to break up the Ben Simmons stuff for on a lighter note. I'll read to you the back and forth with Hugh real quick. So could you do, I asked him, normally we'll tape around like 6:30, 7 o'clock. And he goes, my bad, dude. I'm not going to be back before 7. I got an event going on right now for the Braves. And I said, okay, no worries. Copy that. You World Series bound bastard. That's how I talk. And he said, man, feels like Philly all over again in 08. And I said, that actually hurts my heart. Could you, that was a party. For those of you that were around there in 2008, Phillies winning and going through those 5 years where they were incredible. This city was a party. It was a party every day, every single day, especially in the postseason. It was like a 2-month, 3-month party. It was amazing. And that's what Hugh is experiencing right now in Atlanta. Lucky him. But anyway, I don't want anything to come out regarding Ben Simmons. But one thing Hugh did say throughout this entire Ben Simmons process was, mentally, you never know what that guy's going through. And he kept on saying that. And I can't remember if we had this discussion during one of our interviews or if we had this discussion afterwards when we were just shooting the you-know-what. And he said, or I asked him, I said, the way you talk about Ben Simmons, do you know something specific that's going on that is just not out there yet? And he goes, no, it's nothing like that. I'm just trying to judge where this sports world is going and how people are being treated due to mental health. And I was like, damn, are you talking about how eventually we won't boo because we'll all want to be nice to everybody? And look, that's not a horrible world. We all want to be nice and respectful to one another. But that's not a world I know. That's not a sports world that I know. I'm used to, you pay your money, you go to a game, you sit down, a player doesn't put forth max effort, you boo. That's the only way we have to vote as fans if we're in attendance. We still want the enjoyment of going to a game and experiencing a game. And I want to take my daughter, and I want to take my later on my son and take him to a game and all that stuff. I want that experience. And if something's going on that I don't like, I want to have a voice. I want to be able to boo. But I can't imagine a world where we go to an Eagles game, a Sixers game, a Flyers game. I can't imagine a world where it's we're ready to boo, and then it's a golf event and someone's holding up a sign that's quiet please, and Dan Baker is on the PA system and he's these changes, no more booing. I can't imagine that world. And one of the things I love about Philadelphia It's the fact that this city is so unbelievably honest. And that's what I always say about it. And you guys know I got plenty of connections in Baltimore, family connections, spent a lot of time down there. I've been lucky enough to travel the country and go to almost every football stadium there is. There is something very unique about the Philadelphia fan base in that a lot of fan bases are intense. A lot of fan bases are in your face. Not every single fan base is in your face like the Eagles fans or the Flyers fans or really the Philadelphia fans in general. Dying to be honest. We're the city that tells you, yes, your butt looks big in those jeans. And I love that about us. I can't imagine for the life of me a world where we just got to be, why don't you be a little bit nicer? If you guys didn't see, oh, by the way, I am part of the Ted Lasso craze. I love Ted Lasso. It's like one of my favorite shows, and Ted Lasso is like climbing the charts of my all-time favorite TV characters. And one of the things Jason Sudeikis said when he hosted SNL over the weekend was, I'm amazed that everyone loves Ted Lasso, especially here in America, where it's based on two things Americans hate, soccer and kindness. And that's a great line. And maybe that's the route we're going, where it's, hey, look, I have no problem with being nicer to everybody and being respectful and following the golden rule, practicing the golden rule of treating others how you want to be treated. But in the sports world, it's not like we're going to have a chance to sit down with Ben Simmons. It's not like after a game, you're going to get to talk to Ben Simmons. So, Benjamin, good sir, why did you pass up on that dunk? I mean, no follow-up questions. I'm just curious. Why would you do that? Oh, okay. Have a great day. Like, that's not going to happen. And the story that's out there right now is like, I really want to reserve mental health for people that, like, I don't want it to be bastardized. I don't want it to wear thin when I feel like all the progression that has been made in that area, I could never make it for anyone like over 30. Could you imagine growing up hearing somebody say, I'm depressed or I have anxiety, I can't play? Like, what? That would set the world would set on fire. And if you watch Ted Lasso, the subject of panic attack gets brought up, and takes place over in England, and a guy comes up and says, "Oh, you had a panic attack, did you? If my father had a panic attack, we'd all be speaking German right now." Like, that's the mindset a lot of people grew up with. I'll tell you right now, that's the mindset I grew up with. My grandfather's ship got torpedoed in World War II. Come home from school and tell him how you don't like your teacher. Oh, yeah. Good luck complaining about that. Like, the compassion wasn't there. Oh, yeah. Is that what happened? My ship got torpedoed. Tell me how that kid took a bite of your apple again without even asking. Yeah. You're not complaining to that generation about this stuff. And I love, again, all the progression that we've been able to make in that avenue. Maybe, Mally, that's how we'll lighten it up. April, maybe that's what we'll do. Anyway, so that's that. Before I get to some of this stuff with Nick Sirianni and let you again hear from Fletcher Cox, I want to make sure you guys get this here. I want to make sure you guys know, of course, that we're at the Steven Singer Studios. And the Steven Singer Studios are brought to you by none other than the great Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, IHateStevenSinger.com. Always fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. I have friends that come in from out of town. They'll see the billboards and they'll go, who's this Steven Singer guy? Why did everyone hate this guy? And I'm like, they don't really hate him, but I'll tell you who does. Other jewelers hate this guy because he marks things down. He doesn't mark things way up. They're marked down, and he leaves them there at the perfect price. So other jewelers, they come in, and they mark things way up, just so you can be like, I don't want to pay $5,000. I'll pay $4,000. Sold. Well, too bad, because that thing's really worth $3,000. They still made $1,000 off of it. Steven Singer doesn't do that. Steven Singer sets it at the perfect price every single time. So when you walk in, you don't have to worry about your negotiating skills. You don't have to worry about if you can haggle or not. You just know you're getting taken care of by a real jeweler who loves being in the love business. And that's Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. For over 40 years, he's been taking care of Philadelphia. You want to get engaged? Steven Singer Jewelers. You want to present the perfect gift? Valentine's Day, Christmas just around the corner, the holidays in general around the corner. Ladies and gentlemen, Steven Singer Jewelers is where you got to go. The other corner of 8th and Walnut or at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Let's get to this. These I just want to refresh your memory for those that didn't hear it. By the way, before I get to this, we were a little late. I didn't acknowledge that. That's not accountability. I'm going to be accountable. We were a little late. Had a little trouble with some technical stuff. I got some new technical stuff for the show. I was working my way through it. And you ever have those mornings that they're just not your day? Like maybe within the first 20 minutes of you being awake, 10 things have already gone wrong. And that's where you're like, maybe I should have just stayed in bed this morning. That thought crossed my mind today. But I was like, no, the people need this. The people need the show. So there we go. So I appreciate you guys hanging in there. Fletcher Cox talking about what his role is in this defense.
No, I don't get paid to play screens. I get paid to, sack the quarterback, play in the backfield, tackle. I don't get paid to play screens. We get screened all the time. Just get out of the stack and run to the football.
I always love when a player does that. And we went on the rant yesterday. I'm just letting this be fresh in your mind, so I won't repeat myself from yesterday. But I always love when players are really specific about what their job is.
Obviously, just got to play what's being called, and when you're so used to playing so aggressive, the last however many years, I've been playing, and it's just changed. So you can't be as aggressive. You just kind of got to play what's being called.
Fair enough. Play what's being called. But a lot of times when I hear that phrase, you just got to play what's being called, I'm hearing, I didn't call the play. I'm just trying to do what the coach asked me to do. The coach wants me to suck at football. I'm sucking at football. What do you want from me? That's what I heard. So yesterday, Nick Sirianni got asked about Fletcher Cox's comments and how they're resonating right now in the Eagles locker room.
Well, you know what? Frustration is everyone has frustration after you lose. And, as players, coaches, everybody's going to have frustration. And so, we'll talk about everything. We'll talk through it. And as far as, because we're going to address anything that is what, that we need to address as a team. But I'll keep those conversations private that we'll have there. But I understand Fletch's frustration. I'm frustrated. He's frustrated. And we just got to do everything we can do to get the ship righted.
So there was a great follow-up question asked later in the press conference about is whether or not Fletcher Cox's comments were valid. Not just necessarily what you thought, what you're going to do about them. Were they valid? And Nick Sirianni went on one of his patented, really brief 2-minute answers. Like if I'm anyone in the Eagles PR department or marketing, Nick, less is more. Aim for 15 seconds. That's it. That's all you need to do. Less is more. But Nick Sirianni gets asked about whether or not Fletcher Cox's comments are valid. And of course, he doesn't say yes or no in anything. But when he does get asked about the defense from Jimmy Kempski, actually asked him the question about whether or not he is throwing the defense under the proverbial bus by talking about how the Eagles offense needs more possessions and the defense aren't giving them the possessions. Nick Sirianni said, no, all this is my responsibility. So veteran coaching move there. All this is my responsibility. Even though I'm the offensive coordinator, he said it again. If you're Shane Steichen, what's my job? He goes, even though I'm the offensive coordinator and the head coach, with the offense, I am focused on everything. It's my responsibility. My name is on all of this. If the defense isn't doing their job, that's still on my plate. That's not throwing Jonathan Gannon under the bus. That's me saying that I have to be better with this defense. So maybe he has to coach up Jonathan Gannon as to what he wants to see defensively. Maybe Jonathan Gannon doesn't have complete autonomy. Zach Berman asked Nick Sirianni about that yesterday, and Nick Sirianni said, look, this is all a collective effort. Ultimately, I'm the head coach, so all this is mine. It's not the defense being bad or the offense being good or the offense being bad or the defense being good. This is all on me. I got to make everything better. And you know what? I appreciate that kind of answer from Nick Sirianni because at least he is not throwing something else under the bus. But we all get what he's doing. He's saying his defense needs to be better. But I can't look at Nick Sirianni and say, oh, yeah, you should totally wag your finger at that defense when your offense isn't that good anyway. 15 fourth-quarter points. Good for you. Garbage time again. It really is. It really is ridiculous. But this is the moment during the press conference yesterday, as I mentioned earlier, that made me just go, I'm out. This is an epic fail of an audition year. This is the Eagles telling you 2021 doesn't exist. Let us know when it's April of 2022, and that's when our real new season begins. Nick Sirianni talking about what I believe to be a dumb, desperate decision to go for the onside kick at halftime. And by the way, for those that say, oh, if it would have worked, you would have been on board with it. No, the 4th and 1 from their own 34 worked, and I still hate it. That's how I go. Here's Nick Sirianni with Marcus Hayes talking about going for the onside kick coming out of halftime.
Since they changed the kickoff rules in 2018, the success rate of onside kicks is around 8 or 10%. You said you'd do it again. You like the call.
When teams are expecting it. Right. Go ahead.
Marcus, just you hold on there, smart guy. When teams are expecting it. What the hell? Is he serious? It's 10% when teams are expecting it. Is that what your analytics department told you? Because the analytics guys, they got numbers for everything there. Oh, here we can tell what they're thinking. They're expecting it, so don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, they're not expecting it. Do it. This is I don't know. Ever played tag when you were a kid or whatever? It's just like, I got you. No, you didn't. Like, that's what I feel like we're doing right now watching this Eagles team. Like, oh, they're making it up as they go along. And you know what? When I sit there and I watch it and I hope for more of an explanation and I have to relay this stuff to you. I mean, I look at it and I go, they're lost. Like, you can't tell me that you're watching this team right now and telling me that this year matters. This year does not matter at all. This is all for next year. It's all for what they could see. It's all for what they could do in next offseason. Maybe not even playing for April, maybe playing for early March when the new league year begins and you can start free agents and all that stuff. It's just absolutely insane to me. Absolutely insane. Let me just for laughs.
Since they changed the kickoff rules in 2018, the success rate of onside kicks is around 8 or 10%. You said you'd do it again. You like the call.
When teams are expecting it. Right. Go ahead.
What's the completion percentage when teams are expecting a pass? Because it's you always pass. Anyway, all right, that's enough of that. All right, I've had my fun. Actually, it's not fun. I wouldn't classify it as fun. I'd classify it as this is real, right? Like, we've all seen this. This is all going on right now with like the football team that you root for. We're all having fun today. We're all having fun. We're all gathered. We're all having a great time. Hope if you're driving to work, listen to me right now. I hope you're having a great day. I hope your day. First off, I hope your day starts off better than mine did. Second, I hope that you can just look at this team and go, okay, this is going to be a 17-game preseason. No, 20 preseason games. These are 20 preseason games, all getting you ready for next year's offseason, especially April 2022. That's how we'll phrase it. We're going to jump on with our social media check-in in just a second, but all that fine sound brought to you by the great people of Rothman Orthopaedics, who never disappoint. Rothman Orthopaedics. When you have an orthopedic issue, you need a physician who eats, sleeps, and breathes orthopedics. You need an exceptionally specialized Rothman Orthopaedics physician. They not only specialize in each of their physicians, they not only specialize in orthopedics, but each of their physicians only focuses in on one area of the body, which means you can have the confidence to get past the pain and be what you were. Learn more at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com, the official orthopedic partner of your Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers. How about BetQL? Love BetQL. I didn't roll any dice last night on the Saints-Seahawks game. The Seahawks Seahawks won by 13-10. I believe they squeezed that out. Geno Smith, I think, his first win with the Seahawks, filling in for Russell Wilson. So that's fun to say. For them, at least. Saints won 13-10 over the Seahawks. So the Saints improved to 4-2. Seahawks go to 2-5. Hey, we know that record. And the Saints win their first back-to-back games of the season. So there you go. Fiery exchange on the sidelines last night, in case you missed it. But I didn't roll any dice on that game last night, bottom line. But as I told you yesterday, I won some money thanks to BetQL on Aaron Rodgers and his numbers against the Washington football team. So that made me feel good, and I used BetQL to help me do a little research there. And if you want to get the advantage and the edge over your sportsbook, you need to download the BetQL app, the only app you'll need to make the smart bets. Their best bets computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports. And they give you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. Their model covers everything from point spreads, over-unders, player props as well. If you don't want to use their model and prefer to do your own research, BetQL has all the necessary tools for your betting research needs. Everything from sharp data, line movement, team summaries, lineups, injuries, breaking news, even a leaderboard to help you track your own success. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download the BetQL app. How about our friends at Steak & Maine? Oh, Steak & Maine, ladies and gentlemen, steakandmaine.com for more information in the heart of Northeast Maryland. This place is fantastic. Whether you like to dine on their patio, their upscale steakhouse, their casual bar, sports bar, watch a game or two, enjoy a nice beer, maybe a Cavada Cellars wine. Treat yourself. They got freshly prepared sushi, fresh seafood. The world-class oyster bar is out of this world. Folks, you're missing out if you haven't hit up Steak & Maine yet. Go to steakandmaine.com for more information. What I always recommend, 2-pound tomahawk steak. I told you I showed my cousin-in-law, John. He said, you didn't eat that tomahawk steak, 2 pounds. What are you, out of your mind? Showed him the picture. This is the exact quote. Kazooks! That's what he said when he saw the size of that steak. That's right. Nice little roasted potato right there. Showed him the crab dip. The crab dip you got to try as well at Steak & Maine. So do what I do. Go to steakandmaine.com for more information. Right in the heart of Northeast Maryland, voted #1 place for steaks in America by the Travel Channel and the Cooking Channel. Check it out for yourself. Go to steakandmaine.com. How about the great people of Windview? This is a lot of fun. I didn't get a chance to make a bet this week when it came to my fantasy league because I ended up coming back. All right. But what I did do was get involved in the World Series and the predictions in the World Series. So make sure you do that with Windview. It's the only game where fans can take on other fans and end the debate once and for all. Who is the biggest sports fan and who knows more of those friends and family that think they know everything? Challenge them. Say, all right, you're talking the talk again. I'm sick of it. Walk the walk and look at a Windview challenge. Whether it's Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, whether it's the World Series, make your predictions, make a challenge on the Windview app. It's the perfect way to add a little extra layer of competition to your fantasy football league. While you're tracking the games on Sunday, you can see which players are killing it for your team. You can play against the other league members in a Windview contest. It's not a sports book. It's not daily fantasy. It's a social gaming app where you can win real money prizes. So take advantage of all that they have to offer with Windview. Also, don't forget about PHL Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all blogs and social media as well. Let's jump into our social media check-in brought to you by Steak & Maine at steakandmaine.com. What do we got going on here today, folks? Let's see who's leading us off today. Dak is. Good morning, Dak. April. Good morning, April. Kevin. Good morning, Farzy and everyone. Good morning, Kevin. Dan, good morning. One step closer to Minshew, regardless of how anyone feels about Hurts. Don't know if it's a good or bad thing. Just know how he sucks. And that about sums up the show, actually. That's very good, Dan. April, love the pick, Dan. What do you got, Dan? I can't flash this up on the screen, but it's just know it's hilarious. It just basically says how he sucks. The opposite of sucks. There we go. He does something else that also implies that he sucks, but he's not. It's the opposite of it. All right. What if there is no show and they just put up the streaming screen so we can all sit here and talk to each other? April, we wouldn't do that to you. I'd come in and I'd interrupt the chat conversation with the show. Marc, chat, PJ, morning. What's up, everybody? What's up, Mally? How you doing? Let's see. Dan, when is the PJ Twitter read show? Mike, what's up, Mike? How you doing, buddy? Good morning. It all starts at the top. This is what I have definitely this is what I'm done doing. Today is one of the last days I think I'm really going to pick on Nick Sirianni. Because here's what I see in Nick Sirianni. I see a guy who has been a coach in the league for a long time. I see a guy who's very energetic. I see a guy who really loves ball, right, to use his words. I don't see an NFL head coach. But I see a guy who got offered the job and had the opportunity to get a job as an NFL head coach. Good for you, man. Anyone who wants to be a head coach and turns down a job like that is just stupid. All right. And as much as I might think his play calls or scheme or game plan is stupid or are stupid, I'm not going to look at him and say he's an idiot. I'm not going to do that. But as far as play calling, yeah, that's not good. it's definitely not on the bright side of things. But you turn down a dream job like that? No, it's not going to happen. So when a guy like Nick Sirianni gets an opportunity, he's going to take it. My bigger issue is with the guys that hired him. The guys that, I can't say it enough, that he sat across from and they looked at him and were like, ha, this guy. You morons, you could have hired him. You didn't. We did. We're brilliant. That's stupid. That's pretty dumb. So I don't want to. It's been 7 weeks of ragging on Nick Sirianni. Like, if we're doing that about a new head coach, it starts at, you look up top. You're exactly right, Mike. You look at the people. Michael. That's who you look up at. That's who you look up at. The people at the top. Jets really needed him. They're going places. They needed Flacco, man. Any team looking around, not having a good season, need more Flacco. Who had the better handlebar mustache, Marc or Minshew? My handlebar was pretty baller. That was pretty baller. Gardner, I'll concede the point because, he's a famous athlete, it went viral. Yeah, April, I rewatch every game. Not in its complete entirety. Like, I don't sit down for 3.5 hours and watch the whole game. But I'll either watch the the condensed game on NFL Game Pass, or I'll watch like the extended highlights. I always watch the extended highlights. So they're like 12 minutes on YouTube or the NFL.com. And I usually do that right before the show, the Monday after the game or the day after the game. Because in my mind, things get so jumbled up throughout the game that I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. That holding penalty was in the third quarter, right? Oh, no, it was in the second. It just helps me put it all together. Or that play was in that quarter, but it wasn't like this. What happened first? Was it the interception or the touchdown, whatever? Baptism by fire is what Marc called his first time smoking. Thank you, Daniel. Kevin, Eagles 21 season summed up. Well, we always had Atlanta. I made this horrifying point with my post-game friends, Devin Caney and Derek Gunn. After the first game, we went to a place called Screwballs in it was the KOP, I believe. And we were doing a show out there. It was like an hour-long show, and we were basically teasing the San Francisco 49ers game. And we're leading up to it. And I made the comment, I just said, we're all in this situation right now where we're coming off the Atlanta win, and Nick Sirianni looks brilliant. Jalen Hurts looked great. The offensive line looked good. Defense kept him out of the end zone. This might be the greatest moment of the season. Week 1. That ain't good. And right now we're in week 7. That has been the greatest moment of the season. Like, it was the only game that you really looked at maybe after the opening drive for the Falcons. After that, it was all Eagles. Like, you were worried as they were going down into the red zone and marching down the field and running the ball well. A little worried. And then after that, the Eagles took control. It all started with a Brandon Graham tackle for loss. Oh, I missed that guy. So when I look at this team and when I try to evaluate and all that stuff, I still just go back to week 1 and go, wow, that was the highlight of the season so far. 7 weeks in. Good times. And now they got the Lions coming up. And I'll say it again. I double dog dare you to lose that game. It doesn't matter how many first-round picks we have, Howie's still making the decisions. Again, no better time to flip the switch than right now and change things over. Only /3 when insurance won't cover it. What? April, I missed that. There's a lot of other stuff going on there, I'm sure. Sean's checking in. I hope we get all those projected draft picks, but with Howie, drafting is not comforting. Yeah, Sean, that's where we're all at. It's great to have the 3 picks, but we don't feel good when it comes to Howie Roseman making the selections. That's what my pop said. I'd rather have Sealski making the picks. Very nice, Dan. April, I'd rather have Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder making the picks. Nice poll. John Dorenbos will be in town for his magic show. Maybe he can lend a hand. Very nice, Dan. Sean says the April Stevie Wonder is still available. There we go. Oh, Humble Philly Bull. Welcome aboard. If Roseman is back as GM or with the organization in any form or fashion, I'm down as a fan. I will no longer support or entertain the Howie Roseman effect and influence that must come to an end. Big applause there, Humble Philly Bull. April, yep, not spending any more money on this team. Mally, until Howie is gone. I'm gone. Tired of this embarrassment. April's all right. Dan's right. Insulting and a joke that he is going down this road. Oh, that's Ben Simmons. Couldn't agree more. Mentally going through it. I'm in an abusive relationship with Philly sports. Mally, we all are. All right, this is what I was laughing at earlier. Mally, since Marc is doing demolition in his house, can we get a tool time segment maybe? So here's how this works. I live in a 100-year-old home. Marc is definitely Tim the Toolman Taylor. Yeah, because I don't know what I'm doing. I have a I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you guys a picture of the bench I made for my daughter. I think it's lovely. I think it came out beautiful. I love working with my hands, and like I'm envious of construction workers for this reason. When you do this, like you do it and it's over. Like, yeah, it sits on YouTube or whatever it might be. But it's like it's up in the air. It's gone. It's not there. But when you build something, look, there it is, out in the open. You don't need to download it or nothing. Like, boom, there it is. And like it gives me a tremendous sense of pride, and I just really enjoy doing it. But we got this false wall, this facade, and on our third floor bedroom in our row home. And when the baby comes, when kid number 2 comes, we're gonna move upstairs. My wife and I are gonna give the kids the middle floor. But there's this facade that like cuts about a foot and a half into our third floor bedroom. So I want to, and it's like an archway in the middle. It's bookended by 2 closets. They're small closets, so we can blow them out. And so anyway, it's a false wall. So I'm gonna push that wall back essentially, and flip the closets on the other side of the room for a couple of reasons. One, to give us a little bit more separation between our neighbors and us, because it's like a paper thin wall. And the other is because just pushing back in that room will ultimately give us more space. So it helps the feng shui of the room is what I'm saying. So I'm like doing this by like demo by numbers with my cousin-in-law, who is a contractor. And I'm sending him pictures and I'll be like, I don't think this pillar is load bearing. And he's like, no, it's not. You can take it out. So I take it out. Like that's what I'm doing. But yeah, I'll give you guys a video of what I'm doing, especially with all the dust, because that's fun. It's probably in my lungs, which is why I'm coughing right now. My kid told me that half her 6th grade class is taller than me. It's been a great morning so far. April, sorry to hear that. Let's see. Producer Jim helping me with demo. He's really tall. Here's what you guys don't know about producer Jim. He's 7'1". There you go. Every time I see him in person, like we got this Zach Ertz event tonight for the Ertz Family Foundation, I should say. Lisa Ertz will be there, and it's starting the House of Hope and all that. So we'll be there for that. I will see producer Jim in person. Well, you know what, Jim? Let's take a picture together, and I'll show it tomorrow so people can see how freakishly tall you are, you mutant. I always forget because I just see him sitting down in the morning, and then I see him in person. I'm like, damn it, man. Anyway, so we'll see that. Oh, Peter. Welcome in, Peter. We got a new guy. Peter, what's up? Blah, 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 says Sirianni. As a teacher, he gets a D- from me. Needs immediate remediation. Very nice. Welcome. Humble Philly Bill. We need to boycott this organization if Howie returns. Unfortunately, yeah, I think he is returning. Like, if you're Jeffrey Lurie, I don't see how you can look at this and go, oh, yeah, no, we can bring him back. But he's going to bring him back. And somebody asked Joe Banner yesterday on Twitter about Howie, whether or not he was going to survive this. And Joe Banner just said yes. Like, Joe Banner is the guy that lost the power struggle behind the scenes, the office politicking behind the scenes to Howie Roseman. And Joe Banner is pretty crafty himself. And he got outmaneuvered by Howie Roseman. So, yeah, I could see why Joe Banner would look at Howie Roseman and look at him like a cockroach that could survive a nuclear blast. So yeah, that's what I'll say. Humble man, I appreciate you reading my comment and keeping it 100 on your show, big dog. Thank you, Humble Bill. I appreciate it. April 7-1. Good Lord. Don't tell my daughter. I'll never hear the end of it. He's not 7-1. He's 7'5". Sorry. All right. He's just like 6'5". All right. He's freakishly tall, and I always forget it. Anyway, there you go. That's our social media check-in brought to you by Steak and Maine at steakandmaine.com. Time for our morning rush segment brought to you by Sky Motorcars at skymotorcars.com. Ladies and gentlemen, your Philadelphia Flyers get back in action. Look forward to seeing that. I saw the Nasty Knuckles guys actually put out last night that Brian Elliott made his debut with the Nings last night. So that happened. That's exciting. What else are we going to get to with today on the 26th? We're going to get to the Philadelphia Flyers. Have the night off tonight, so you won't get a chance to watch them tonight. What else do we have? They're back at tomorrow. I got my days confused. They play at the Oilers. At the Oilers tomorrow. 76ers. Our man Ala Abdelnaby got in himself a little bit of a trouble last night or 2 nights ago against the Thunder. Won't bother playing that simply because I don't want to I know what he was saying came out wrong. And yeah, I don't want to promote it any more than that. But the Sixers back in action in New York tonight, 7:30 tip-off at Madison Square Garden. So we'll see what happens with Joel Embiid, injury-wise, and Andre Drummond and all that fun stuff. Thanks for game one of the World Series tonight. Charlie Morton's on the hill against Framber Valdez. So there you go. That's what's happening in the World Series, 8:09 first pitch. Thanks for watching. That was our Morning Rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, skymotorcars.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm Marc Farzetta here from the Steven Singer Studios for a freakishly tall Jim Hyden producing the program and a moderately tall Buzz Sports and Entertainment. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Tomorrow, we hope to give you guys a full update on everything that took place at the Ertz Family Foundation event last night, or what will be last night. It's happening tonight. So I look forward to updating you guys on that, as well as some fun facts surrounding Zach Ertz himself. Turns out he's the first player ever to score 2 touchdowns in consecutive weeks for 2 different teams. Only tight end to do that, so that ball goes to the Hall of Fame. Go figure. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Take it easy.